Hi, I'm James Gangle and welcome to My Little Kitchen. On today's Little Kitchen Quickie, I'm going to show you how to take apart poultry. In my case, a duck. Let's go. So now we're going to take this duck apart, or it works the same way with the chicken or a goose. I've already trimmed the fat away from the cavity here, right here in this cavity, and the neck flap. Kind of gave that some plastic surgery. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the legs off first. So what you want to do is find sort of there's a little space, a little gap between the leg and the ribs, okay? So you make that space there. See that? There's that space there. And what we're going to do is just cut down there because you want to keep as much skin and fat on your breast as possible. One of the best things about duck is a crispy skin. So we want that skin left there on the breast. We've cut down along the breastbone, and we're going to work our way all the way back to the backbone, taking all the meat, free it up from this tailbone. There's tons of meat there, working our way along the bones with short cuts. And as soon as we find that hip bone there, we're going to pull it back. And we're going to, with some pressure on our knife, we're going to pull, okay? So trim that skin and pull because that's going to release the oyster, which is a delicious piece of meat there. See that oyster? And there's our first duck leg. Bang! There's lots of fat on a duck leg, and we want to use that for our duck confit later, which will come in a later video. So just trim that fat off, that excess fat on your duck leg, okay? See all this excess fat? We're going to just trim it. There you have that beautiful duck leg. You see that? So we'll do the second leg here just to show you again. You make some space between the ribs and that leg. There's that space. And we're going to leave that skin intact for our breast. We're going to cut all the way around and along the ribs. And then as soon as we get to that hip bone, we're going to place our knife there. And we're going to pull to release the oyster. There you go. Let's move on to the breasts. So I'm going to keep these wings on. They're called drumettes. And I bought a utility duck. There's no wing tips. There's just the drumette, so that's great. We're going to French these legs, which basically means cutting all the tendons away. And when you cook this thing, all the meat's going to shrink away from the bone. It'll be like a little meat lollipop. To remove the breast, you're going to feel that breastbone, and you do a real shallow cut on one side of the breastbone. Real shallow. Easy. Right along there. Boom. See that? Now what we're going to do is keep following that breastbone till you get to the ribs with long, shallow cuts. And you'll see this. You get to the wishbone, and you make your way along that wishbone. Don't leave that that wishbone in your breast, because then people will wish they were still alive. They'll choke on it. They'll die. So we'll keep working along the ribs here. Keep working along. There you go. And as soon as we've separated from the ribs, what we're going to do is we're going to hold that wing and hold the breast together. Feel where the wing is attached at that little hip bone. It's a little bit of cartilage. Cut through that. And there you go. There's your airline duck breast, which we're going to trim up too. I might as well do this one now. So there's a lot of excess duck fat, which again, we can render down for our confit. You're just going to follow the contours of the meat and take that excess duck fat off. Sometimes you'll find a bit of cartilage, and you can just cut that cartilage out. So here's some excess fat, but it's not really excess because we're going to use it. I mean, I like to do all things in excess, which means keeping the extra skin and the extra fat for extra delights later. And there's our perfect, beautiful airline duck breast. So let's do the other breast. What we're going to do is we're going to feel that breastbone, and we're going to just, with long, shallow cuts, cut along the breastbone and separate that meat running our knife along the ribs. When we feel that wishbone, we're going to run our knife along the wishbone. We're going to grab our wing. We're going to grab our breast together. And we're going to cut down on this wing until we feel where it's attached. And there's just a little cartilage there that you cut through. And boom. Perfect airline duck breast. So let's just trim this duck breast from the excess fat following the contours of the meat. And there is our final airline duck breast, ready to be pan-seared in another video. Enjoy, everybody! Why does that do that with the light? Enjoy, everyone.